Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman Khan. I'm here in London. Just concluded the Fury versus White press conference. With me is the one and only Adam Smith. Adam, good to see you here. How's life treating you?
Yeah, good, Ayman. Obviously, we've had a very busy February, and Glasgow brought us another spin, another story. Huge audience, but obviously a very bad decision in our eyes, and felt for Jack Catterall, feel for Josh Taylor as well this week. Don't think anyone really wins from it. So difficult. Historic night in Scotland, and now they've got a historic night in Wembley, bringing Tyson Fury back. And I wanted to come down to the press conference, see him. I hope Dillian would be here as well, but he didn't make it. It's a big fight on April the 23rd, and yeah, it's good having Tyson back on UK soil. So. Apart from as well, the other thing was we came to the game on Sunday here too. So Liverpool fans, Ben and I, so that was good. Tasha enjoyed it too, and David Price, who's here today, was there. So yeah, it's been pretty busy actually the last few weeks. So looking forward to a little rest at some point, but there's just no rest in boxing, is there?
Well, yeah, you know that more than me, but I'm feeling that too, getting obviously the experience of the game. Adam, first of all, Sky, the involvement with Sky in terms of this fight, I believe it's through pay-per-view. You're allowed to buy the pay-per-view through Sky platforms. Is that correct?
It's on BT Sport box office, and obviously it sits on the Sky platform. So, we want to talk about this fight. It's a big fight. Tyson Fury is the number one heavyweight in the world. Alexander Usyk might argue, but in my eyes he is. Alexander and obviously Vitaly and Vladimir and Vasily have got far more important things to be doing at the moment anyway, and we wish them well. But no, it's a big British fight. It's a big British world title fight. Tyson Fury comes back, and we'll be talking about it. It's what we do. I thought it was really interesting on Saturday night to see the reaction of the promoter, our partner Ben Shalom, and his outrage to what happened to Jack Catterall, and the fact that he wanted an inquest. And it was really refreshing to hear that. And I think it's important for us to be independent at Sky. I haven't sort of hid away from the fact that I think that Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is one of the best fights of the year. That's on DAZN, and I think this is one of the best fights of the year. Of course I do. Tyson Fury is great to watch each and every time. He's the number one heavyweight. Anthony Joshua's still got to come back and try and regain his treasure like he has done before. And while it's quiet on that front, we'll look at this, and obviously we'll look to our stuff. We're back at Wembley Arena on March the 26th, and Newcastle April the 2nd. We've got a very busy spring period as well, but I think it's important for us to be independent, and when there's a big fight, we talk about it.
Well, it's good to see you here and get your thoughts on this fight. I mean, the biggest glaring thing, the biggest talking point about this is obviously, naturally, given what's been talked about, is Dillian Whyte isn't here. Your reaction to that?
Surprised, disappointed. I know Dillian really well, and we've had some fantastic times on Sky, and he's called for this fight, I don't know how many times, huge amounts. I guess maybe it's contractual, maybe it's money, I don't know. I'm not privy to those conversations, but I'm surprised, because I thought he'd want to be here, I thought he'd want to be in Tyson's face, he'd want to enjoy the event. This is, it's not every day you fight at Wembley Stadium. Anthony Joshua fought Vladimir Klitschko and Alexander Povetkin here. Obviously we had Froch Groves, which was a breakthrough night here at Wembley, but it's still a massive occasion, and I think it's really, I mean, if it's mind games, if it's a financial thing, if it's a lack of wanting to help the promoters out, I just think for him personally, I think what Tyson said out there was right. His kids are going to look back at this fight, and surely they're going to want to see their dad and involved as much as possible. But look, maybe it's tactical, maybe he's just staying away. I respect Dillian hugely. He's a fantastic fighter. He's got a terrific opportunity to become world heavyweight champion, and the most important thing is he turns up for the weigh-in on April the 22nd and April the 23rd here at Wembley. So it's not the end of the world, but I'm surprised. I'd like to have seen him. Would have been good. But I'd like to have seen the two of them face to face. But things are strange in boxing. It's a very strange week at the moment with the sort of outcry and the backlash from the Taylor-Catterall fight, and it's never a dull moment in this sport. Dillian just decides not to turn up, even though apparently he was offered a private jet.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, from Dillian's point of view, he has the gripes about the contract. We don't know the situation there. Arbitration in the background, don't know the situation there. But apparently, he was offered the terms, and Frank was saying at the press conference just a short time ago that they did offer that. But in terms of how the fight, you see it breaking down, what do you see happening in the ring in your mind?
I think Tyson's right. I think he's very dangerous, Dillian Whyte. I think he's very dangerous with that left hook, the right hand. He's fought everybody pretty much below the sort of Tyson and Alexander Usyk level. Anthony Joshua obviously stopped him, and but there was one or two hairy moments for AJ in there as well. And I think Dillian's a more improved fighter since then. Yes, we had the blip with Povetkin, but he wrote that wrong, and you can't write Dillian off in this fight. Obviously, Tyson will start a big favourite. He's unbeaten. He's shown a way to sort of get past every opposition, even when he's down, when he's in trouble. And Dillian will be hoping that if and when he lands, he could maybe keep Tyson on the canvas. But he's got to land. I think Fury's got the reach, the size, the skills. I think it's going to be a fascinating fight for the first 6 rounds, to see whether Whyte can get to him and really can make it uncomfortable and difficult, and with that dogged determination, that sheer strength and courage that Dillian Whyte brings to the table. But it's going to be a hard night for Dillian, because Fury, if he's on his game, if he's on his A game, he's got all the ingredients to be able to deal with most styles. So I see it as he's definitely the underdog here, Dillian, but I wouldn't count him off, because we've seen in heavyweight boxing, it just takes a shot. It just takes a shot for Povetkin. He was in control of that fight in the Garden, and Alexander Povetkin unleashed one massive shot, possibly the best of his career, and lays Dillian out. So it can happen to anyone. We've seen Fury get up, but one day maybe he won't get up. And Dillian's not without a big chance in this fight, but you've got to say Fury is a huge favourite, and will be favoured to stop Dillian probably, or certainly beat him on points. But we'll find out on April the 23rd.
Yeah, that begs the question, because of the adaptability of Tyson. We've seen him do the destroyer kind of path now, but he's a consummate boxer. What Tyson do you expect?
I expect Tyson Fury to be in incredible shape, and to treat this homecoming as a really important night for him. He's been away for a long time. I think he wants to prove that he's the undoubted number one in the world. I think especially when obviously it's quiet with Alexander Usyk, because he's got far more important things to concern himself with at the moment. We wait for Anthony Joshua to come back. I think this is the real opportunity, for Tyson to showcase his talent and his skills, and I think he'll want to put on a devastating performance. But the interesting thing is that Dillian Whyte has been in with so many tough fighters and finds a way, and he's hard. He's a hard man, Dillian. And if you believe what you hear in the sparring that they had, the pair of them, then if Whyte can transfer that into the ring when it really matters on this big stage, I don't think he's going to freeze or anything. He's going to be right up for it, and I think Dillian will fancy his chances. Few gave Taylor-Catterall a chance last weekend against Josh Taylor. So boxing can be funny, and styles make fights, and people are saying, if he's like Derek Chisora, then will that happen again? And Fury will win like he did against Derek those couple of times. But Dillian's his own man. He'll have his battle plan. He's got a good team around him. He's a hard guy to beat. And like Povetkin found, or Joshua found, you've got to nail him. You've got to nail him down, or he'll keep coming at you. And I don't know, it could be a harder fight for Tyson Fury than he thinks.
Adam, I asked Frank at the end of the press conference in terms of the pay-per-view price. I appreciate, obviously, you're not in control of that, but what's your opinion on whether this potentially does command a higher pay-per-view price point than what is set right now?
It's not my business. BT Sport Box Office is the platform, so it's the BT fight. Obviously, BT sits on the Sky platform as well, as we know. So it'll be interesting to see what they mark it up at, but we're Sky Sports Box Office, and that's our business. But for us, we want to enjoy the fight. We want to talk about the fight. We want to talk about the fact Dillian didn't turn up, and we've got to concentrate on our roster as well. Ben and I have got huge amounts coming up. We've got big fights, big announcements. Top Rank have got even a show this weekend. There's loads happening from the global deal with Top Rank, so we've got huge amounts to occupy ourselves. I'm really pleased with the momentum that we've had in February. We've come a long way in just a few months. When Eddie went to DAZN, Eddie had a show Sunday night with a Coley. We had a show Saturday night. They've got this. We've got more shows coming up. It's fantastic for boxing. It's great for boxing, for fighters, for fans, for the media, for everybody that we've got so much happening, so much competition. It's great for the sport. But I think when there's a big fight on different channels, I don't think there's a problem. We should be talking about it. And as I said, as much as I want on our channel to have Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields fight, doesn't mean I'm not going to be wanting to watch the Casey Taylor Amanda Serrano fight. And likewise, we've always been in the Anthony Joshua business, and while we renegotiate and hopefully get that and continue working with AJ to the end of his career, which is what I want to do, we'll look at Tyson Fury, and I was over for Fury Wilder too, and also our partners Top Rank are involved in this. So there's lots of different elements, but I think that's a question you need to ask the BT staff.